All right, I am live, everybody. The Packers are about to pick at 192 right now. The Jets are on the clock, and they're about to make their pick here. I just want to be able to get on live just a little bit sooner, so that way everybody can have a chance to get in here and be able to ask some questions and react. And let's watch this together. If you are able to watch this right now, you got nobody in here, but that's okay. I'm gonna sit and wait until somebody comes in. The Jets pick is in, and we are just waiting for the Packers to be able to make their pick here if they didn't trade it. All right, so one person in here, great. Right now, this is reacting to the Packers' first of 3 sixth-round picks here at 192. The rest are coming up here at 208 and 209. I'll be reacting to those picks when they arrive. And the pick for the Jets is Braden Mann, a punter out of Texas A&M. Punters are people too, so good pick here for the Jets. Right now the Packers are on the clock, so still waiting over this out. Wait for a few more people to come in, and anybody can ask questions and whatnot. So, all right, 3 people in here. Great, let's go. Packers are on the clock, and this is the first of the 3 sixth-rounders. 208, 209 will be coming up pretty soon. I will be live to do those picks as well, live reaction. So, assuming those picks are not traded, I think let's see. What's good? How's it going, man? I think we're getting J.K. Hill. It's K.J. Hill. That would be a good pick, if we can get K.J. Hill. I'm surprised he's still on the board. K.J. Hill would make a pretty good slot receiver, I think, for the Packers. I have no idea what in the world, why he's dropping. Still have yet to get a receiver, but my instinct is that we're not going to go receiver here, is because we have Devin Funchess, and people tend to forget about the other guys that we have. Equanimeous St. Brown coming off an ankle injury, and the pick is in, so the Packers have made their pick. Let's see who this could be. I'm hoping there could be a chance for a developmental offensive tackle. I think that would be pretty good if we can. It's Jon Runyan, the guard out of Michigan. Yes. Awesome. Let's go. Jon Runyan is actually the son of Jon Runyan Sr., who was an offensive tackle that played for Michigan and was actually with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I guess John Jr. is more of a guard than an offensive tackle, but could be. Who knows what the Packers have in mind with John coming over to help block for Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love in the future. So help run block for our running backs too. That good pick. I like it. John was projected to go in the 6th, 7th round. Awesome. Keegan, how's it going? We got a guard finally. Yes. I was thinking a guard possibly for the Packers too, but given the fact that we still need help on defense and offensive tackle, makes a lot of sense. We finally got some protection, yes. Finally. It's an interior player, but could be an offensive tackle, but I'm guessing that Jon Runyan Jr. is a guard, which is why he was announced as a guard, so maybe a wide receiver in the 7th round. We still have 2 more 6th-round picks, Keegan, so we could possibly get one in this round. If our receivers suck, this is why. Our wide receivers are the wide receivers that are on the board. Okay, so good picks here. So, you know what? With the 208s coming in, maybe I can stick around and then I can do maybe. Nah, I'm not gonna stick around. I'm just gonna see what you guys are saying here. Jawan Jennings. I'm not sure who that is, Keith. I am kind of interested in who that is. And Robert Windsor came off the board. Was Colts took him. Dang it, I actually liked Windsor. KJ Hill, 6th round. If he drops to 208 or 209, sure, let's get him. But I'm kind of interested to find out why he's dropping. Okay, he's a Tennessee wide receiver. Okay, I didn't do anything. I haven't looked him up. I guess he's somebody that's just been under the radar. Juan Jennings. I'll actually kind of see if I can try to find him here. What are your thoughts on Jordan Love? I will make a video on my thoughts on Jordan Love and all the other draft picks coming up in a video. I did have my say on Jordan Love in a prior video. So if you want to go ahead and check out that video, that would be good. My initial reaction to the pick was very surprising for sure. Isaiah Hodge is still on the board. Yeah. I think he was projected to go in the late rounds. Oops. Going too quick here. We are finally taking positions of need. Yes, we are. Why do you wear hats? Because I don't have any hair on my head, that's why. I was screaming when we picked Love. In excitement or because you're pissed? I'm guessing you were probably just about as mad as everybody else was. We should get Hodges and Jennings back to back. Sure, I wouldn't mind that. This draft was a train wreck. I understand where you're coming from. This has not been a very good draft for the Packers. KJ Hill still is not as good as Hodges. Keegan, actually, I will stick around. I'm going to stick around until we pick. I will let everybody else have their say in here. I'm surprised on how many people are in this stream, so I will definitely be sticking around. KJ Hill will be Terry McLaurin. That's a pretty interesting thought there. I'm not so sure if he compares to McLaurin. I'd actually like to see what KJ. Quez Watkins is a steal at wide receiver. I can't believe that Quez is still available. I looked at Quez, and I think he could be a good pick for the Packers. Okay, KJ Hill. His comparison is to Randall Cobb, actually. I mean, it makes sense because in terms of size, for sure, and he could be that quick, twitchy slot receiver that we sorely need because we got a whole bunch of long, tall stiffs out there. No disrespect to those guys or anything like that. I like receivers with size, but we need to go for some smaller guys. KJ Hill is another Ohio State receiver and one who ran 4.7. Yeah, the speed is probably the big reason why he's dropping. That's going to be a little bit of a problem with separation in the NFL. James is 24, and that's why he didn't get picked. I didn't realize he was a little bit overaged there. Ran 4.6. KJ can play slot for us. I think so, too. He is very similar to Randall Cobb. Watch KJ Hill film. He's not a great receiver. Ohio does not teach that position. I mean, Ohio State is not very much good in terms of getting good receiver talent. So I kind of agree with that. Good as a madman. That's pretty funny. That's the comment of this stream. I was hoping we could have got Tyler Johnson from Minnesota. Me too. I like Tyler. He is a very good route runner. and would have made a really good slot receiver. But he got picked up by Tampa Bay in the 4th round. So I was very, very KJ can route run. I think he can too. I'm just going to look over some of his scouting on KJ here, what I have right in front of me. While slightly shorter than scouts would prefer, Hill is far from small, boasting a broad-shouldered frame and rocked-up arms, lightning quick off the snap, which is good. That is something that is ideal for the slot receiver position, and something that's actually really good about. There's something that's kind of good. Quality route runner, snapping into his breaks to create separation and deftly decking defenders to easy clearance on combo routes. Strong, secure hands with one-handed highlight reel grabs. Quality punt returner, shows ball skills, vision, and burst to be a big play threat. That helps a lot. Okay. May be viewed as just as a slot receiver due to average height. He is 6 feet, so just a little bit taller than Randall was. A little bit lackadaisical in running out of his routes when runs are called, tipping off defenders to the action. That could be probably a little bit of a problem with especially when you're going with the top of your routes. I'm going to take a look at this here by. KJ is a suspect route running. He's not polished in any way. I mean, that might be true. James Prosh is gone. Where did he get picked? I haven't been paying attention. Right now I'm seeing at 197 Detroit is on the clock, and if only the Packers could have got Denzel Mims. Yeah, that would have been a pretty good pick at the bottom of the 2nd, considering that we do have that position of need. However, he is actually raw in terms of route running due to the Baylor route tree that he had with Matt Rule. Packers obviously did not want wide receivers this draft. It certainly seems that way. I don't get why we didn't pick one. Maybe the SMU receiver at 208. Who is that? Prosh? I'm going to go to this question here really quick. You're talking about KJ Hill. I was talking about KJ Hill. I was just reading a little bit of a scouting report. Since he's on the board, the Packers can probably pick him here with one of the remaining 6th-round picks. Who do you think was the best team that drafted the best? Somebody just asked me this question. That's actually a really good one. Right now, I could say right off the top of my head, some teams that have picked well are the Miami Dolphins. Minnesota has done a really good job. They picked well yesterday, and day one as well. The Ravens did. I agree with that one. Mitch. Baltimore has done a great job. They found some steals for sure. They took Queen from us, so that was an automatic win for them. That is a joke. The idea he is raw is not true. Just talk. I'm not talking about raw as a player. I'm talking about route running. That's all. The Baylor system was very simplistic, and the Lions made a pick here. I'm just taking a look at who it is. I don't care. Let's see. Mims was the best receiver in the draft. Isaiah Hodgins is the best left in this draft, or Quez Watkins. I think the best receiver in the draft was CeeDee Lamb, actually. Mims was good. I'm gonna look up Isaiah really quick. Oh, I see Juwan Jennings here, the Tennessee receiver, projected to go in the 6th round, and compares to Tajay Sharp. has the Packer height and weight that we look for. There's Courtney Davis, the Texas A&M receiver, that is still available. Cowboys got the steal of the draft. CD Lamb. That was a really, really good pick for them. Antoine Brooks Jr. just went off to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maryland played with Darnell Savage. That was a guy that I liked. Let's see. Baylor fired those simple coaches 2 years ago. They ran NFL routes. I'm pretty sure they ran NFL routes. I mean, there's all kinds of routes that you would run in the NFL. I'm just talking about as a full route tree. I'm just looking at what I'm gathering from information. So, I think we will see how Denzel is as a route runner with the Jets. I feel like Packers think that their wide receiver core is better than everyone thinks. Remember what Adam Sucked became amazing? Maybe MV takes a leap. I hope so. I really hope that Marquez can make that leap and become that player. He needs to get better at running routes as opposed to being just a deep threat. CD Lamb is so overrated. You might be right. CD Lamb could be a bust for all we know. CD Lamb or Jerry Jeudy would actually have been. They would have been the number one. It was a tie between those two, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to go to this one real quick. Who did the Packers pick? The Packers picked Jon Runyan, the guard from the Michigan Wolverines, some pass protection for Aaron. Okay, let's see. Platypus Plays. Can you give me a shout out? Absolutely. Shout out to you, Platypus Plays. I really like your username, and your avatar is really cool, by the way. Okay, now I'm going to get to... Let's see, CD is better than Mims. I agree. I think CD is better coming out than Mims. That's why he was a first-round grade. Vikings got a steal with Jefferson in the first. Yes, I believe that they did. I thought the Eagles were going to pick him, but they went with Jalen Reagor. I think Reagor is going to be the best receiver in the draft. He could be. He has definitely got a lot of upside. He's got the speed. He's got the big playability. But he also kind of has the route running problem too. I've heard some things where the TCU didn't have the full route tree either. MVS can be like Adams. Remember Adams' second year, he was not that good. Devontae struggled with dropped passes in his second year, and I have no idea what happened with Devontae. I guess maybe just a sophomore slump after a very promising rookie season. MVS didn't really have that season that Devontae did, but I'm pretty confident that with Marquez's blend of size and speed, he has the potential to be good. Oh, I already went over that. So you must ask, is Funchess Adams Lazard better than... I don't think that Devin is better than Devontae for sure. I'm not entirely sure if he's better than Allen. I would have to say probably yes, because he was a second round pick, and I think he has a little bit more upside than Allen does. Allen is really big and everything like that. Doesn't really have much of the speed, but neither does Devin. But I think Devin is probably going to be better than. I think Devin could potentially be better than Allen, but I'm probably wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope Allen can be the guy to step up. I can't believe that the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts. I can't believe it either. Eagles fans that I watch, they hated the pick, and I don't blame them. That was a reach for the Eagles, and no excuse. Jalen was a D3 grade. MVS struggles with separation. Yeah, he does because of route running, and he's not really quick or anything like that. He doesn't have the quick twitchiness to be able to get out of breaks and just flat out get open. He's more of a straight line, long strider. He will only be effective right now at this, in my opinion, with vertical routes and posts. Packers have not gotten better this draft. Not one position besides backup quarterback. I would have to disagree with that one. I think we got better in the run game with the picking of A.J. Dillon. I really, really think he could be very much almost like what Derrick Henry was for Tennessee when Matt LaFleur was there. I know that A.J. is not as good as Derrick is. Derrick was much better coming out than A.J. was. I actually kind of thought that. Hang on. Never mind. I really agree with the Packers have not gotten better this draft, except for the running game. The running game will be better because we have AJ. We are literally turning into the Titans of the AFC with Aaron Rodgers. It really feels that. It really feels like that way. I know that Matt LaFleur wants to bring more of a run-oriented offense to the Packers, and I have no problem with that, considering the age of Aaron and that he has declined somewhat. I'm trying to go back and try to get some of your... I'm all in for Rodgers requesting a trade off this sinking ship. I think he might request a trade. He might request a trade and everything, but I don't think the Packers should ever trade him because we paid him so much money and we have so much guaranteed money into him. To make a part ways with that would be very catastrophic to our cap, and it would be the unwise move for sure. We can't. I don't think Aaron wants to go. He had made nothing whatsoever in terms of expressing a wanting out. I'm pretty sure he's not happy considering the circumstances of not getting some pass protection and weapons. Aside from Josiah in the third round, I think our starting receivers will be 1 Adams, 2 Lazard, 3 Funchess. I agree with that. I think that's going to be the case. Devin is so-so for me. Funchess is a joke. And you might be right. Funchess drops everything. And he's dropped some passes. You think Aaron deserves better? I mean, considering, Minnesota just traded a pick. Just looking around what's going on right now with the draft. Yes, the Eagles took Quez. I was actually about to mention that. And that's a bummer because Quez could have been interesting for the Packers. Okay, I'm going to go back to this one. I want him out. He deserves better. I think he probably does deserve better than what we've done in this draft, but I think Aaron's just going to trust the process just like we all should, and I hope that things can play out well enough for this team to be competitive this season. This team was 1 game away from the Super Bowl, so I understand we have stayed mostly the same in terms of talent level, especially on the defensive side. We should have drafted Queen. Our defense would have been a lot better with Queen. I wouldn't say a lot better. I know he would have helped a lot in terms of the sideline-to-sideline speed and playing in coverage. However, Pat Queen was a 1-year player, a 1-year starter for LSU, so that might be the reason why he was passed on, and that's why a lot of teams passed on him early and in the middle of the first round because of the uncertainty of where he is. Backup improved Dillon is not good. What makes you think that AJ is not going to be good? I really feel like he has some potential as a power back here, and from the tape that I've seen, he looks like he's a bowling ball, and he will just knock defenders over and just grind away the tough yards. Dillon's okay, just not worth a second. I don't disagree with that. I think he was more of like a third rounder. James Prosh just went off to the Ravens. Oh well, I wasn't really all that high on him anyway. That one game is long gone. Yeah, it is. I'm just kind of giving like a projection of what the Packers were. That this team was one win from the Super Bowl. Let's see. I want you to know who we should get. Should get Barry, the linebacker from Nebraska. I'm not sure who that is. I think the Packers lost the draft in the NFC North. It sure seems that way. All the other teams are picking pretty well compared to what we are doing. The Lions are actually doing better than we are, and the Bears are doing better. They got some pretty good players in this draft, and Minnesota was definitely the team that has done the best. Two down running back, straight line runner. Yeah, he's a north and south type of runner. He is not going to be an outside receiver like Joe, or an outside runner like Jones is, and that's why I think that's where things are going to be heading. Is Jones will be back, Jamal will be gone, and it'll be AJ Dillon being the backup and spelling Jones well. To do some inside runs as opposed to the outside runs that Jones can do. That's what I think. I know Burks has been hurt, but he's comes his speed and his sideline is elite. Yeah, I mean, it's too early to give up on Burks. I think he has the potential to be that coverage guy. He needs to get better at playing the run. He needs to get better processing the field and finding out what's going on, seeing what's right in front of him. He does need to be healthy, and having a healthy camp will really help him get on track. And that's why Burks has not been able to develop as well, because he has missed so much time in practice squad, or in camp. Practice squad. Okay, at 2:02, Arizona's on the clock, so I'm just giving you guys what's going on in the background. Packers are the team having the worst draft of 2020. Trading up for 11. Cruz is lost at this. It really seems that way, that the Packers are having the worst of it, but it's because all the other teams are picking so well. I think the big reason why we drafted Jordan is because this is for the future. This is post Aaron Rodgers era, and we needed a backup quarterback. So I have almost no doubt that if Matt really believes in Jordan so much, he is going to get the most out of him, and he is going to be a really, really good quarterback for us. Just got to give it time, and the potential is there. And Matt LaFleur really wanted Jordan, so that's why. Aaron Rodgers, the game manager, is criminal. The Packers are doing this and just crapping on his legacy and destroying the Packers. I think Aaron kind of has to be somewhat of a game manager right now at this point, because let's face it, when I look at Aaron and his play, it's diminishing, but the talent has also kind of diminished in front of him as well. I mean, I have no idea if it's due to lack of talent or if Aaron and his skills are really declining. I think it's maybe a little bit of both, actually. Burks is the worst player the Packers have gotten on the roster since Tony Mandarich. Wow, that's a reach right there. I think I could think of worse players than Oren Burks that have come in and out of the Packers. Ahmad Carroll, for one, the corner that we took in the first round. boy, was he horrible. And then there was a couple other first-rounders that were pretty bad. Justin Harold, 2007, was a complete bust. I think Oren is just really raw. He needs to. Okay, Evan Weaver just came off the board. The Arizona Cardinals picked him. So I'm going to go right back up and see if I can try to find some of that. I'm going to go to Keith right here. Don't want to turn Rodgers into a game manager, but we are taking the ball out of his hands more with this draft. I agree with that. This is going to be much more of a run-oriented offense with the three-headed monster of Jones, Williams, and Dillon. We might trade Jones. That could be a possibility. I tend to doubt it. And I'm going to go back down here and go to this question, or go to this comment here. I'm convinced LaFleur's kids are drafting the players with the nicest jerseys. Let's see. I remember one of Matt's son's names. I think it's Luke. I'm actually going to look that up. That'd be kind of fun if they were actually kind of helping with this draft process. But I think Matt has had a lot of influence in this year's draft with getting some of the guys that he wants for his offense. I think Matt has 3 sons. It's either him or Brian. One of them has 3. One of them has a couple of sons. I'm going to get to your questions and comments in just a quick sec, guys. I just want to see how many sons that Matt has. Okay. Let's see. There is 2. Luke and Ty. So that's kind of... I knew one of them his name was Luke. Okay, HJ, there's absolutely no problem with Jordan Love, but every pick after that wasn't good. Yeah, I don't think there's too much of any problem with Jordan. I like Jordan. There are some things to his game where they need to be worked out, and with time, I think that Jordan could be a very good quarterback for us. Don't bash our first round pick. Are you talking to me about that? Pro Gamer Galaxy, thanks for joining this stream, my man. We finally got an inside linebacker. Yes, we did. We picked Kamal Martin, the inside linebacker from the Minnesota Gophers. Aaron's play is diminishing because he has no weapons. Yeah, aside from Devontae, I mean, it's definitely not that good. But it feels kind of strange to be able to see Aaron miss a whole bunch of throws that he normally would make. He's even missed some short throws here and there. And when you look at the stats, the stats are diminishing. I don't know. I really definitely think it's a little bit of both, but it's more because we just don't have weapons. So I would have to agree with that to a pretty big degree, but some of it might have to do with Aaron's timing. It seems a little bit off sometimes, and he doesn't set his feet when he makes some throws, and when he throws off balance, that might be the reason his accuracy is off a little bit at times. And I know he's not as agile as he used to be. He used to be able to escape the pocket more and get out of the pocket, bail, and be able to make a throw down the field, extending the plays, which is what he is known for. Okay, now I'm going to get to this here. So is it time to bring in A. Brown? Packers can offer a chance. There's still a few free agents left. I'm not so sure who that is. Oh, Antonio Brown. Oh, okay. Sorry there. Antonio Brown, I don't want that guy in the Packers locker room because of the whole character concerns, and I don't think he's right in his head right now. He needs to go get some mental help. And with this whole off the field stuff that just happened recently, he just needs to get all that sorted out, get right in the head again. He needs to stay away from football for his own good and for the betterment of every NFL locker room. Love the second round. Dylan, Love second. Dylan third. Dylan second. Third and receiver in the first would be better grades. I'm not sold on Jordan Love, who Matt LaFleur loves. I'm not really sold on him either. I'm going to get to these stats right here that mentioned by Jordan. People have ripped on Jordan for the 20 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. A lot of that had to do with Jordan getting a whole new offensive coordinator and a whole new playbook with trash talent around him. I understand what Jordan was doing. He was just trying to make the best out of what he had, and he probably took more chances than he needed to. The decision-making was something that was a problem coming into this with Jordan. I think things will be sorted out under time with under Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. So I understand I take the stat line. You can look at the stat lines, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Okay, Jordan Love, 17 interceptions. The next is DeShone Kizer or Jameis Winston. I've definitely heard a lot of comparisons to DeShone Kizer. He's DeShone Kizer 2.0. Jameis Winston 2.0. Jameis's things of the interceptions was because he gunslinged, and a lot of it had to do with the Bruce Arians system. It's a turnover prone offense. And it's very hot and cold type of offense. So I think that's partly to do with Jameis. It is decision making for Jameis. And the thing with DeShone Kizer was that I have no idea what went on with Kizer. He had a very bad stint in Cleveland where he threw a whole bunch of interceptions because they relied on him too much. He was the Cleveland Browns offense. They had no running game to go with him. So I'd like to explain that. I could see Rodgers playing elsewhere to end his career. That's a possibility, to be honest. I would hate to see that happen, because if they want to move on from Aaron and start Jordan for the sake that we have him under contract, so we can't let him go while he is not playing at all during the duration of his contract, and then when it comes up after his fifth year, then we'll have just picked him for nothing, unless we trade him, and that certainly could be the option for the Packers. He would have had better numbers if he had Higgins, Ruggs, and a Lamb. Aaron or Jordan. I mean, I don't think Jordan had the best of receivers around him. If you're talking about Aaron would have had better. He would have had better numbers if he had better receivers around him besides Devontae. Allen Lazard. I love Allen, but he's a number 3, not a number 2. We need that true number 2 wide receiver, and I hope that can be Devin. Oops. I'm going to go to this one here. I say the Packers re-sign Jones, release Williams. I wouldn't release Jamal. I think he can bring a lot to the table for the Packers, and I think let's see. Take a spot. I really love Jacob Pike. He's like Derrick Henry or a prime Eddie Lacy. Yeah, he's a really big back north and south runner. He's a bruiser, and I can't wait to see what he can do. But I wouldn't release Jamal Williams. I think he brings lots to the table in terms of blocking, and he's been a very good pass protector. Aaron Jones, not so much, but he's getting better. And A.J. Dillon doesn't provide much at all, anything at all, in terms of pass protection. Oh, it was 20 interceptions. Okay, well, For some reason, I thought I saw the stat line was 20-17. But the thing is, the big reason why Jordan was picked here, I really, really see a lot of potential with his arm and everything. I'm gonna get to this one here. Why has KJ not been drafted yet? A lot of it might have to do with size and slot receiver. Maybe it could be separation, speed, route running. I don't know. Whenever I look at prospects, it's hard to say. I look at scouting reports and I see that he's graded for this so and so round. NFL teams may not see the same as the information gatherers like us. He's not going to get fat like Lacey. Probably not. Eddie just had a whole problem with eating, and apparently he loved his China food. So, I mean, I have not called him Eddie China Food Lacey for a whole reason, because he has made a whole bunch of tweets saying, I'm about to go get some China food, and it was interesting. Ted Thompson over Brian Gutekunst. I think a lot of people, now you guys want Ted back. I think that's funny. I really think Ted Thompson has done a really good job over the duration of his time as the Packers GM, save for the last few years, which is where things just did not go so great in terms of drafting. There were a lot of hits and misses during the last few years of his past drafts. Brian is just getting started. He has had 3 drafts so far, and the first 2 have been pretty good. Ted Thompson is a Hall of Fame GM. Good is not. I agree. Ted is a Hall of Fame GM. I think he's done a great job throughout his time as an executive for whoever it was, whether it was for the Packers, Seattle, and then his second stint as a GM here as an executive for the Packers, being the general manager. Drafting Aaron Rodgers probably made his legacy, and then surrounding him with so much talent around him on the offensive side of the ball, something that Goot has not done quite yet. He did draft Jordy Nelson. He did draft Greg Jennings. He drafted James Jones, and so on and so forth. That's kind of what has made Ted Thompson as good as he had. And right now, Brian Gutekunst, you have to let things play out for Brian. He could be a Hall of Fame GM. Give it time. We need a bona fide slot receiver at speed to take out the top. Is trying to implement. Yes, we do need a slot receiver, Keith. Very good. Very good observation. We definitely need a slot receiver. And I certainly hope that we can get one today. Ted Priestruck was one of the best in the business. I think he was definitely one of the best in the business. Are you implying that his stroke is the reason why things went so bad for him? I know he has a neurological condition and his health has deteriorated a little bit, but I don't think his stroke has anything to do with the Packers' decision making. The first Goot draft was a joke. He drafted Jair Alexander in the first round. That is a win in my opinion. And Jair Alexander is a great player. I know that Josh Jackson has not panned out as well as we like to think, but at the time it was a good pick. A lot of people were saying that it was an A grade. Okay. And then Oren Burks, he just needs to develop. And then there were some other picks in there in that draft that were pretty good. I can't really remember off the top of my head who was in that draft. I think Cole Madison was in that draft. Oh, okay. What's good? I'm going to go to that. I think the Packers are going back to receivers and are going back-to-back receivers now. Would surprise me if they did. Yeah, the Packers are on the clock. Oren Burks sucks. Right now he does, but who knows? Maybe he can make a jump in his third year. I wouldn't give up on Oren yet. Trey Adams, Jennings, next 2 picks, I hope. I would like to have Trey Adams. I've actually had the Packers going with Trey Adams in a mock draft from 2 mocks ago that I made for a video. Now I'm going to take this troll out, hopefully. Trolls are not allowed in this stream. Jackson played 1 year at cornerback before the NFL. Yeah, that was one of the things with Josh Jackson was kind of like a 1 year starter and everything like that. So, and the Packers pick is in, so we're gonna find out who it is really soon. We'll see if it's KJ Hill or somebody. Pick is in, yep. And it's Jake Hanson, the Oregon center. Awesome. Good value, yes. Good pick. I like it. So Jake Hanson is the pick for the Packers. Great. Nice pick. Absolutely. I agree with that one, Mitch. Packers reached for Josiah DeGuara, a 6th-round tight end in the third. I agree with that one. Jake Hanson is great. Yeah. I'm glad we got him. The draft is rough. Aaron Rodgers. You must be talking about this guy. Yeah. Jake Hanson is great. Yep. I like the pick. Yep. So do I. I like the pick as well. And I'm glad we got Hanson. Hanson is a steal here in this round for sure. I thought that Hanson was going to be going in day 2, actually. Packers can win the North and 1 playoff game, but nothing more. They are not a Super Bowl contender. I mean, that probably wouldn't surprise me, given that we didn't really get very much help on the defensive side of the ball. Who's stopping the run? Let's see. Kenny Clark, nose tackle. Kenny Clark, the nose tackle. Christian Kirksey. And that will probably be it for our run stoppers, to be honest. Hanson is a starter. I think he could be. I'd like to see what he can do. If he can maybe he can overtake. He can overtake at right guard, and now we got the Packers making their second pick. It's an offensive tackle. Okay. Yeah, Simon Stepanek out of Indiana. Well, this is good. We're going to get some pass protection in here. I kind of it would have been kind of nice if we had went defense. I'm kind of on offensive line twice in a row. I mean, I don't mind it. Yeah, Lindsley is up after this year, which is probably why we went with Hanson, and then I think that was a great pick that we went with Jake Hanson. I actually almost put Jake Hanson to the Packers in a mock draft. I want to go back up here. Natron Means. Yeah, Natron Means was a really big back bruiser, but he wasn't all that great. Let's see. KJ Hill next round, hopefully. I wouldn't surprise me if he goes undrafted. There has to be some kind of reason why he's dropping and why teams don't like him. Becker's pick in the seventh. Then the next pick is the 7th round, 236th overall. That's going to be a while yet. Hopefully Stepanek is better than Spriggs. Hopefully so. I'm not entirely sure what position he's going to be playing, if he's going to be an offensive tackle or if he's going to kick inside to guard. I think he'll be a tackle. Is Deshaun Cornell still available? Yes. He is still available. Packers may use him at fullback a lot with Jones on the field. Are you talking about A.J. Dillon? Yeah, I don't think... I think A.J. Dillon could play fullback, but I think that's what DeGora is going to be doing. He'll be used in the fullback, H-back type of role because he can do some of that. I think he's actually a pretty underrated blocker. This is the worst Packers draft ever. Charles, I'd probably have to disagree with that. I don't think this is a particularly good draft, but I think there have been some worse drafts, and we have yet to see how all these players are going to pan out and maybe let this thing play out, you know. Which pick don't you like? This last one, the offensive tackle pick. They obviously don't want Rodgers there and don't want to win next season. Well, given how this draft is played out, it certainly seems that the team doesn't want to get better on defense, but we did make some upgrades on offense, with the running game for sure, and then we got some pass protection. This is the beginning of the end of Goat in Green Bay. I wouldn't say that. I don't think that Mark Murphy is going to overreact to one less than stellar draft and end his career early when he just hired him not too long ago. I don't see that. The Packers just don't do that kind of a thing. They're not the Cleveland Browns where they hire and then fire their staff so quickly like that. That is dysfunction. The Packers are not about like that. I'll take Snacks on the defensive line. Snacks Harrison. Is he actually still available as a free agent? Because I think Snacks Harrison might actually be a pretty good option for the Packers. Although he's more like a nose tackle, but then we had to kick Kenny to defensive end. Dona's a super option if Jones leaves us. Yeah, he could probably take over as the full-time back if need be. And the Jets have traded the pick to the Colts. So let's see who the Colts are going to go for. This draft sent Aaron a message that they don't want him there anymore. Well, I think this sent him a message that the time is ticking, Aaron, and we are going to be looking to the future pretty soon and, get better, maybe. I don't know. like we're getting ready for the future, but we can win now. We were 1 win away. Yeah, we were 1 win away. We are not getting a receiver. I don't think so. I really don't. I'm not sure if we're going to get a receiver either. I really don't think so. I think Goot believes in the guys that he drafted from his first draft, St. Brown, MVS, and he brought in Devin. So I think that's probably why he chose to go over the wide receivers this year. We had the worst run defense in the league last year, and the Packers addressed nothing. That's crazy. Well, we had one of the worst run defenses, but not the worst. Rodgers just went off the board. Isaiah Rodgers, a corner. Interesting. I'm going to go back up to this comment. Okay. I guess I'm going to have to change my name to Jordan Love. Nah, just say Aaron Charles Rodgers, dude. If you're Aaron Charles Rodgers, you're the GOAT. Say Aaron Charles Rodgers. I like that we drafted 3 straight offensive line. We didn't. We went 2 straight. It was Jon Runyan, and then no, it was 3 straight. I'm sorry, my bad. It was 3 straight. We got Runyan, guard, and then we went with Hanson, the center, and then an offensive tackle. I got mixed up things. I know that at 190 in the 5th round we went with Kamal Martin, the linebacker. Built nice depth at offensive line, but not sure why Trey Adams is not picked. I have no idea either. I guess the injuries are probably the reason why Trey Adams is not being picked. We should just pick up a place kicker next. No way. Mason Crosby's not going anywhere anytime soon. Jordan Love is gonna be a starter eventually. Matt LaFleur loves him, I believe. Rodgers has 2 seasons max. 2 is two. I think it's gonna be between 2 and 3, or between 2 and 4. I think 2 is probably the least that he has left. I know that Aaron is very adamant about wanting to play into his 40s. That running guy played left tackle too. Good. I mean, it would be nice to be able to have a versatile offensive lineman. I'm going to go with... I'm probably going to have to go with Trubisky right now because we've seen what he can do. Because Jordan is unproven. I think Jordan will be better than Trubisky when it's all said and done. Yeah. Trey Adams is way better than this. Let's see. I agree. Trey Adams is better than this. Jordan's arm on the run is crazy. Exactly, Rob. I've seen him. I've seen his tape when he moves on the run, and he can really make some throws on the run, very much like what Aaron can do, but to a lesser degree. Aaron is much more lethal on the run, and Aaron's talent is like no other ever. But Jordan can do that. I think that's why the Packers liked Jordan so much, because he can do that. After 2 years, that 3rd year turns to $17 million in dead cap. I think that sounds just about right for Aaron's contract. With 44 people in here, this is crazy. I was not expecting this at all, and I wasn't even expecting to stay. So I guess I'll just keep this live stream going until people start filing out when the Packers' picks are done. Trey Adams has the best feet in the draft. I think he has really good feet. He is pretty quick off the snap. He's both equally good, again, in the run and the pass game. So it's incredible. I don't get why Trey hasn't been picked. You're right. He can throw in the run. He can't step it up in the pocket, however, and delivers. I've seen him where he was able to climb the pocket and deliver some throws. It's not like he's going to bail. It's not like I've seen him consistently bail the pocket. How do you feel about the linebacker we got today? Kevion, I like the pick. Kamal Martin, I thought maybe we could have got the 6th round, but I'll take him. Let's see. I mean, this is the best backup we've had in years. We got going for us. Yeah, I think he could be the best backup we could have had since Matt Flynn. Hopefully Love can be like Josh Allen. I'm not so sure if Jordan is really as mobile as Allen is. I think Jordan maybe has some mobility. He's not fast like Josh is, but I think he may have some mobility. I know that he can move on the run, extend plays, and make throws down the field. I mean, this is the best backup we've had in years. I already put that on there. A.J. Dillon will be the next Brandon Jacobs. I see a comparison there. Brandon Jacobs was a big back just like him. Do you think we'll make the playoffs? I don't know. I'd have to see how things go in terms of how the season is going to play out. It's possible we may have a shortened season, so it's kind of hard to tell at this point, but I think so. When do we pick next? 236th overall in the 7th round. We got Rex Ryan in here. I must have missed him. Oh, a lot of these comments are going so fast. I'm trying to get to all of these here. This is crazy how many people are coming in here and coming into this live stream. It's crazy. Thanks to everyone that has joined this live stream. It's great to have everybody come in from Packer Nation and elsewhere. If you have not given this video a thumbs up, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. Let's see, Alexandra Medina. I want to get to this here. It's disrespectful. I hate this organization. We are adding a dynamic that's will this locker room and morale. I'm not sure how to take all that. If you're talking about how the draft has went, it hasn't been a good one. This organization is one of the top classiest organizations ever, and this is why I love this team. But right now, things are just not going the way that we as fans would like it to. But it'll be fine. We just have to let this thing play out. I think we will look back 5 years and say, what a move to get Love. Yeah, I totally agree. That's a possibility. We could be looking back and say, what a genius move Gutekunst made was to go get Jordan Love. He's great. This is what people are saying about. People weren't saying this about, when Aaron Rodgers was drafted in 2005. What a genius move that was to pick Aaron Rodgers and be the successor to Brett Favre. And it was like, it's always looking back on it, and this could be one of the best draft picks the Packers have ever made. Let's see, I watch every snap. He doesn't climb the pocket, and never did I once at Utah State. Okay, maybe I've seen him make some step ups. Maybe he doesn't climb the pocket up the middle. But I know that is something that I believe that he is capable of, and he will learn in this system to climb the pocket, see the whole field, and do that. I know that there are certainly a lot of flaws to Jordan's game, but I'm pretty confident that Matt and Aaron can get the best out of him. One option we have yet is a few slot receivers and free agents yet, and also we bring in unsigned players. Yes, we got some undrafted free agents we can go after. After the 7th round is over. is if I'm answering that question correctly. Love is not a runner. I don't think he is a runner. I agree with that. He's not a runner, but he's a mobile guy that can get outside the pocket. Can't wait for Aaron to leave and kill us on another team. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, he ran a 4.7. I knew he wasn't a fast guy. Okay. I like to be able to catch up to the comments here. Goot loved Kaiser too. He did like Deshaun, which is why he traded a pick and Damaris Randall to get him. Big mistake. I don't know what Brian was thinking. Love is only 21. Yes, he is only 21. Rodgers says he wants to play 20 years in the NFL. That puts Love outside the contract. I mean, I'm not sure. I think Aaron is coming into his 16th year. I think it's his 16th year. So I think that might be. He'll have 4 more years to get into his 20th year. Let's see. I'm going to get to this. Goot is a bad evaluator of quarterbacks. I don't really know what to take from that. I think maybe he saw Deshaun's mobility, and maybe he could possibly be a very good. He could have fit into the system. The problem was, I have no idea what the problem was with Kaiser. But we'll see if that is actually. We'll see if that's going to be the case, because Jordan could be the outlier. We should have got Jefferson or Higgins in the first round. I think Justin Jefferson would have been a very good pick. He would have been a very good outside receiver and inside receiver for Aaron, but we would have had to have made a trade up to go get him, and we would have had to have gone past Minnesota to be able to get him. T. Higgins, I wouldn't have minded T. Higgins if we had been able to get him at 30. He's a big target, fits the mold of a Packer receiver. Yeah, they are setting up to push Aaron out. They had 2 years at a minimum to get the next quarterback. I mean, it really kind of has that type of feel that we're pushing Aaron out with drafting Jordan. But I think this is just putting putting him on the clock and saying, we're thinking about the future, and that's probably what I'm thinking it is. We passed on Prince Tagovailoa and KJ Hill. Yeah, we did. We did pass up on Prince. That was one of the guys that I liked, but KJ Hill is still on the board, I think. We think Devin Funchess is going to help our receiver problem this year. Yeah, I mean, I think actually he will. A little bit. Go watch film on Kamal Martin. He does it all, and he's a thumper. I've seen a little bit of his tape, and I liked from it, so that's why I liked Kamal. I just want to know what level of coke Gutekunst is snorting while it. I don't know, maybe he wasn't on coke, maybe he was on shrooms. If I had a private interview with Rodgers, all I could say is that I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I'd probably be thinking that too. I mean, let's see. Devin Funchess is not enough. I agree with that. Devin is not enough, and I would have liked to have gotten a receiver in this draft, but we still can. I'm going to put up this stat line here for Jordan. Yeah, 32 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. That was good, and this was back when Jordan had a stable offensive coordinator and coaching system there. And then 20-17 was due to the whole. Yeah, exactly. It was a poor supporting cast. That's what I mentioned earlier. Are we going to draft a receiver? Sean, I have no idea. I hope we do. I hope we get KJ Hill at 236 because he can bring something to the table as a slot receiver. I just need to grab something really quick. Okay, what good receiver is our left? Probably Hill. That's probably about it. I don't see too many other good receivers. Donovan Peoples-Jones I would have liked, but he's gone. Yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones was somebody that I sort of liked, but I did have a few problems with his speed and due for separation. How did Hill fall like this? That's a good question. I have absolutely no idea why he fell. We should have drafted KJ Hill at 209. I don't know. Maybe it could work out where we can get him at 236, and we could wind up getting a steal here. Don't sleep on Tristan Jackson. I actually have not really done anything seen anything on Jackson. Thaddeus Moss, I really wanted him for our tight end. Yeah, Thaddeus, I'm surprised he hasn't been drafted, but I think there's some reasons why he isn't. Jawan Jennings went off to the board, and he went to the San Francisco 49ers. Dang. Bummer. That's a bummer. Benny Jennings wasn't a bad pick. Yep. Love will get 2 rings. That'll be great. That'll be great if we can get 2 or more. Excuses for Love are stupid. We know it could have had transferred and wasn't good enough to find a team to transfer to. I think maybe you just have to take what you can get. Maybe that could have been why. Also, some guys tend to go under the radar, and then when they transfer, some scouts, they just miss prospects. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, back when he was at Butte, a lot of people didn't give Aaron any. He didn't give any love. Nobody gave him the time of day, and he went on to go to Cal Berkeley, and then look what happened. Love's ceiling is Alex Smith. I think his ceiling is probably Carter Coughlin went off the board to the Giants. Dang it, I liked Coughlin. Okay. Jabrani Monster cornerback. I think that's a possibility, but I really wouldn't pick one this late. We need to get a corner that is going to be. I don't even think that we even really need a corner. Actually. Love's ceiling equals Jameis Winston. His floor is Kaiser. I think his ceiling is much higher than Jameis Winston. But his ceiling is far away from Aaron Rodgers. That's for sure. I think his ceiling might be more closer to, I wouldn't say it's Mahomes, but I'm trying to think of another big armed quarterback that was okay. I can't really think of anybody right off the top of my head. I know this doesn't say much. I like the optimism. I like it that somebody is actually liking Jordan Love in this stream here. EQ is coming back. Yes, he is. He's coming back, and hopefully he can do something. Dane Jackson and Lamar Jackson would be good picks here. Yes. Actually forgot that Dane was still on the board, and Lamar Jackson is another long, tall corner that we generally like. Let me get to PGG's question. Why did the Packers not draft a receiver? Probably they don't feel the need for one, but the draft is still going, and it's in the 7th round, 236. That could be the case where we finally get a wide receiver. Oh, I missed the wrong one. And we move on from Rodgers to Love and win to at least the chips. Probably. Geno Stone went off the board to the Baltimore Ravens. I actually really like Geno. Matthew Stafford compares to Love. I could see a lot of comparisons because both of them have great arms, but I think Jordan is not really that much like Stafford, but the arm is pretty much what I would say that is probably somewhat comparable. Nope, Love's ceiling isn't Mahomes. I don't think so either. I think Mahomes is really like no other. I can't believe how good Mahomes has turned out to be. He's like Dak. He's got a better arm than Dak does. I also think that Dak is more mobile and can run. None of these picks will play. A.J. Dillon is going to play, and Josiah DeGuara is going to play as well. I think he's going to be pretty good. Bryce Hall is going to be the steal in this draft. So man, he fell that far and went to the Jets. Yeah, Bryce Hall was a very good pick by the Jets. Jordan will play well. I think so too. I think he will play well when it comes time. I like the tight end we got. So do I. I like Josiah a lot. He is going to be a very good. He is going to be a very, very good move tight end. We can play him in line. We can play him back at fullback. Dak is like a game manager. He was more like a game manager in his first 2 seasons when Ezekiel Elliott was the man, you know. And then Dak, I think, has come on in his 3rd year, and I think he's going to be very good. Love is mobile but to throw. Exactly. That's what I see in his tape. Is that he can get outside the pocket and make some throws on the run. How about Graham? What a bust he was for Green Bay. He was a bust. He was a free agent bust because of age, and he just doesn't have the speed anymore to separate and get open like he used to when he was with the New Orleans Saints. And with about 50 people in here, I would like to say thanks for coming onto this stream and watching. Hit that thumbs up. KJ Hill went off the board to the Chargers. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm going to turn this up. There goes KJ, but he almost dropped to us. I guess we can probably forget about wide receiver for this draft, honestly. Can't wait for Dylan getting 2 yards on 3rd and 5. I don't think that's going to be the case. AJ is going to plow through all those guys, and he's going to get 6 or 7. Heck, he's probably going to get 10 on that. He's going to go double because he's going to plow through all of those guys. He's going to go and bang the linebackers and throw them to the ground. Yeah, this is the most people in my live stream ever. I think I might have gotten a little bit over 43 once in a prior stream when I streamed Battlehawks games. I don't trust Lazard, but Adams, yes. Well, it's hard to trust Allen right now at this point, given his limited upside and his lack of speed to separate from faster corners. Dylan is going to be a monster and a good complement to Jones. Yes, absolutely. I absolutely 100% agree with that. By the way, I like your avatar. The Matrix is one of my favorite movies ever. Cameron Curl came off the board too. Overrated Rodgers is the problem. That's what some people think, and that's what a lot of people want you to think, is that he's overrated, he's the problem, and he's a diva. Are you Skip Bayless, by the way? I hope Aaron forces a trade. I hope not. I want our beloved bad man to remain a Packer for the rest of his duration. Just subscribes. Did you subscribe? If you did, thank you. Well, he can strum his acoustic guitar on his at his beach house all he wants during the off season, for all I care. As long as he's keeping in shape, of course. It's good to be able to. It's kind of good to get away from football. You don't have to be all football all the time. Learn to play the guitar. Who do we get now for wide receiver? Good question. I would like to go back and look at my board here. And it feels like with KJ off the board, I don't know if there's anybody that's really going to be that's any good, to be honest. There's Jeff Thomas, the Miami receiver. He's 5'10", 180, kind of a little bit small. Jeff Thomas could be interesting. The Packers had showed some interest in Jeff. He could be a pick. Courtney Davis, I think, is still on the board. Tristan Jackson, the 6'1" corner, or the 6'1" wide receiver. I think he's still on the board, too. I know that Quez went. Kendrick Rodgers, Texas A&M receiver, big guy, 6'4", 204. Kind of fits the mold of what the Packers look for. I want to get to this question here because I bypassed this question so many times, so I apologize. How do you feel about Jalen Waddle? I really don't know anything about him. I have not really looked into that part of the draft for next season. Any good defensive linemen left? I think there might be a few guys that are available. I actually really like Darian Daniels, the defensive tackle from Nebraska. But I think there's a couple other guys that I had my eye on that are still there. There's Benito Jones, the nose tackle, Josiah Coatney from Mississippi. I think those guys are still available. Yes, Tristan Jackson is still on the board. I'm going to get to this here. Building a big, strong offensive line and adding to the run game. Second year of our head coach. I think year 3 is where the magic happens. Could be. Let's hope so. I criticize Aaron Rodgers, but I don't believe he doesn't care about winning. He couldn't help it. He got sacked, and then he got his knee hurt, and it was practically like a broken kneecap. He couldn't help that. I think he does care about winning. I'm not entirely sure if he always puts all the work in necessary, because he does spend awfully a lot of time doing more off-season activities than I think he should be doing, like playing golf and whatnot. But I still think when he needs to, he works hard. But I think in the off season, he's probably a little bit more relaxed. And you should relax a little bit, but it's fine to criticize Aaron. I definitely have criticized him in the past, and will still continue to criticize him a little bit, but only when it's right. All the best receivers are gone. All the Packers can do is 7th round leftovers. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Yes, these are probably our receivers for this season: is Devontae, Devin, Allen, Kumaro, Jake Kumaro, Marquez, and EQ. I'll get to this one here, GHP Network. Thanks for joining this stream. If you're still watching, try to start with just MA need a meeting with. I hope that there is going to be a meeting at some point between the Packers leaders, so they can go and talk over all of this. I think that everybody on the roster is just going to trust the process. Malcolm Perry. I really don't know who that is. Literally the worst draft of all 32 teams. It really looks that way, considering we just really spent all kinds of resources on just offense and really only one defensive player. Yes, we have 2 7th round picks, 236 and 242. Thanks for another great show. Thanks, John, for coming in. Thanks for being a good supporter of my channel, and definitely looking forward to making some more videos for you guys. Thanks for another great show. Oh, that's not what I meant to go to. I don't trust 7th rounders at all whatsoever. I get that, because they are lesser known prospects. Their skill sets are not polished by any means. The bust rates are higher the 7th round, and a lot of guys don't pan out. So that's why at this point, if these are guys here being picked here, are just going to be guys that are going to have to battle it out to make a 53-man roster, unless somebody steps up in a big way, like, who knows, we could possibly get a Donald Driver here in the 7th round. They thought they could get a receiver, and everybody got taken before them. I don't think so. I think the front office knows the board. I just don't think that they like any of the receivers. Ty Summers was a steal last season in the 7th. Yeah, I definitely think he was a steal too. I loved that draft pick. Sam Shields was undrafted. You never know exactly. We could wind up getting another Sam Shields, but I wouldn't bank on that. Sam was pretty rare. Right now, a quarterback came off the board. Cole McDonald out of Hawaii went to the Titans. Now that we're kind of at the bottom, I kind of want to go back up to some ones that I might have missed here. Okay. In the deepest wide receiver in 15 years, they didn't like any of the receivers. I think there's been some other classes that were pretty deep. I don't think it's the fact that they didn't like them. I think it's probably they don't think that they don't need the receiver. I know that we as fans think that the Packers need a receiver, but I think that it's possible that the front office doesn't think that we do. That could be it. I don't think there's very many good receivers left. I guess Tristan Jackson, he might be worth it. The pick is coming up pretty soon, so no receivers picked. We're building for the future with what we have. They never like to get weapons for A-Rod. I highly disagree with that. Ted Thompson did. I really had to disagree with that because Ted Thompson drafted guys like in the second round almost every single year. You had Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings the year before. James Jones was picked in the third. And Minnesota went with Kenny Wilkes, a pass rusher from Michigan State. That was actually kind of one of my guys that I really liked. Classic Rando, thanks for subscribing. Much appreciated. Callaway, I think Javelin Goodry is a corner. Quarterback controversy. There is no controversy. Aaron is the quarterback of the Packers. Yeah, the Bears went with Darryl Mooney a few rounds ago. I don't think we're going to go 6-10. I don't even know how long of a season we're going to have. I like Rodgers, but we have sent more and needs these pressures. I don't know what that means. So right now the Bears are making a pick here. Oh, it's Stephen Goodry. Okay, I thought you were talking about Javelin Goodry. Okay. My mistake. Yes, Jeff Thomas. He's still on the board too. No defensive upgrades are more frustrating than not taking a wide receiver. I think it's more frustrating than not taking a receiver. This defense needed upgrades at the inside linebacker position and 3-4 defensive end. We didn't address either one. I hope there's going to be a move coming in for maybe like something along the lines of like a trade or something. Because I definitely think that there's a possibility that to go to this here. The Packers are not picking next. There are a few more picks yet. Right now, the Bears are on the clock, and they will be making a pick soon. I don't see how anyone could watch the Packers last season and think they don't need a receiver, even the playoffs. Throw to Devontae Adams. I definitely agree with that one, Deshaun. It's been very evident that this team has needed another receiver to go play alongside Devontae. Here in Dallas, drinking spotted cow. We've been saving this for over a month. Mitch, you're from Dallas and you're a Packer fan? I like that. Awesome. I know I actually have a friend that lives in Dallas and is a Packer fan. No money for moves. Family from Amory, Wisconsin. Wow, that's pretty close to me. Packers 10-6 or 9-7. I think that's a pretty good record to predict right now at this juncture. And the Bears took an offensive tackle. Nobody that I've ever heard of. Let's see. By the way, the name is Jake, so let's see. I'll answer your question here. There are two receivers. What receiver would you like? The lessers, I want Jeff Thomas and Lipscomb. I'm not sure who that is. Packers had a better offense when Adams got injured. I highly disagree with that. Devontae made that offense really, really great. The reason why the Packers looked good when Devontae was out because Aaron Jones was doing a great job, and the run game was the reason why the offense was ticking like it did. Watch boxing, awesome. Another Dallas fan that's not a Cowboy fan, but likes the Pack Attack. Awesome. The 1980s are back. I don't think so. The 80s were a pretty gruesome time. I don't know what that was like, but I can probably say that a lot of older Packer fans would say that there's no way I think this team is going to be a playoff team. I mean, think about it. We didn't even have the best quarterback we've had from the 80s was Lynn Dickey. We still have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers alone is alone, even though he's not as good as he used to be, is going to ensure that this team is still going to be good enough to be able to make a playoff push. Let's see, MVS is not a good player, but EQ is. I think he could be a great number 2. EQ could be a great number 2. I'm very intrigued with what he can do. So we must not know about Vernon's day before they shut down here in Addison for, Reggie Begelton from St. Peter's, a good receiver. Yeah, I would look out. I would definitely not overlook Reggie Begelton. Falcons took a kicker. Rodgers should have pulled the trigger on McCarthy 3 years before he finally did. We are 3 years behind loving this draft. At least I know that somebody's actually loving this draft. Dominic, boy, we need a receiver. What are we doing? We're probably gonna pick one here. I know the 80s. This is not the 80s game. Is way different. Exactly. The football in the 80s was very different. It was more much more run-oriented than the passing league that it is today. I also think the Packers' coaching was not very good back then. I know you had, in the early 80s, you had Bart Starr. I thought he was okay from what he was given, but he was a better player than he was a coach. And then you had the era of the Forrest Gregg era in the middle 80s. He was really, I think he was a lot better of a player than he was a coach. And then in the late 80s, we were stuck with, I'm trying to think of his name. It'll come to me in a second. Lindy Infante. And things were pretty miserable when Lindy Infante was the coach. We have Matt LaFleur, and I think he's going to be better than any of those coaches. Yes, Rodgers to EQ with those fades in the end zone are golden. I would love to see those. EQ certainly has the height, he has the size to be able to do those, and I'm excited to see what Equinemius can bring to the table. Yeah, Reggie's definitely put up some really nice stats in the CFL. I like to see how it translates to the NFL. This draft, no starters picked in. Maybe they'll sign a backup quarterback after this. We just drafted a backup quarterback, Brian. We're not going to go and sign a backup. We just got a backup. I wanted a wide receiver as well, but this draft made one thing clear: that Good has faith and believes in the guys that he has up at his position. Yes, I 100% agree. I think this is what they are thinking. That's a good comment right there. I think that must mean that he can jump. That's what I'm assuming. I hear DeGar is a plug and play because the offense at Cincinnati is very similar to what LaFleur wants to run. He is the most ready of the picks so far. I think that might be true. DeGara is going to make an impact right off the bat as either an inline tight end or playing back at the H-back role. Matt LaFleur is ungraded. Yeah, I mean, I would say he's ungraded right now because he is very new. If anything, we know he is not great at game planning. I really feel like that might be a little bit of a reach right now at this point. From what I saw when the Packers, they started out great with scripted plays and drives were great, and then after the scripted plays, things not so much. Thanks for joining this stream, SC2 from England. I can't believe that actually somebody from outside the country is watching this. It means a lot. Thanks for joining. This could backfire on Goot if Rodgers averaged 30 TDs, 5 interceptions, 450 yards the next 3 years, wants to play 41. How do you push him out? He will not be pushed out. He will continue to play. And I would have to think that if Aaron continues to play as well as he did, then Jordan Love will be traded. He'll be traded after he's developed. Rex Burkhead, Kelsey for the Bearcats tight end. Rex Burkhead is a running back, and Jason Kelsey, or you're just making a comparison. Yeah, Rex Burkhead is a running back, even though he's built like a fullback. And you have Travis Kelsey, who is much more. He's a tight end, but he's very fast down the seam. I don't think that Josiah is as fast as Kelsey. A.J. Dillon would have been great in 1991. Yeah, I think so too, because in 1991 it was a very much of a more of a run-oriented offensive attack back in those days. I think A.J. Dillon can be great now, actually. Fans hated Ted Thompson also. I don't get how spoiled we have gotten as Packer fans. Totally agree, Johnny. I feel like we are really spoiled with traditions of winning and having really good general managers. Hold on. Howie, thanks for joining this stream. It's awesome. How many draft picks did the Vikings have? That's a good question. I don't really remember off the top of my head. I know that there were at least 9, maybe 10. I do like LaFleur. It is more risky than McCarthy on those fourth downs. We just can't seem to get away from using 30 wide receiver screens a game. I know that there's been some games where we were reliant on those screens. I think we've had to in order to get Aaron into a rhythm, and I understand why we went that way. And yes, I think Matt LaFleur has taken more risk than Mike McCarthy has so far. I think the reasoning for the screens is because our receivers can't separate; they can't get open. I'm gonna go right up to this win-win for Goot. 14 picks. That probably would make a lot of sense. Minnesota has had a ton of them. How is Matt LaFleur boring? Like boring in press conferences, or is he a boring play caller? I'm kind of glad somebody likes the pick. Yeah, but we screen on 3rd and long a lot. Yeah. It really seems that way. We kind of did use some of those bubble screens there, and that it really doesn't make any sense, really. Love pushes Rodgers. So why didn't we draft one wide receiver that can separate? That is a very good question that I think that the Packer media better ask Brian, why didn't we draft a wide receiver? That's something that I would like to find. That is something that I would like to find out coming from when the guys like Rob Demoski and Aaron Nagler. I want them to push hard on why didn't you draft a wide receiver? Why didn't you give your quarterback a weapon? The more people hate on the pick, the more I like it. That's the attitude. I'm actually kind of starting. This pick is starting to grow on me as well. Carlos Davis, the defensive tackle from Nebraska, went off. I actually kind of liked him for the Packers. He was taken by the Steelers. I love this pick. I'm going to get a jersey of his soon. Which one, Sean? Are you talking about Jordan? I actually might get a Jordan Love jersey, too, if I had the finances. They better ask Brian, hey, how come haven't you drafted a first-round skilled player in 15 years? Do you hate Aaron? Brian Gutekunst hasn't been the general manager for 15 years. Some of those years were Ted Thompson, and Ted Thompson did address the skill position in the second round as opposed to the first round. Ted Thompson wanted to go for linemen, the big guys. He wanted to go for offensive tackles and guys in the defensive front. Aaron Nagler and the Green Bay reporters are pissed off. Really? I mean, I did listen to some of the conference calls, and they were asking him some questions, and there were some that I thought were kind of positive. But I understand. I think they might have been angry, and I understand that's why they would be angry, because it's kind of like, hey, Brian, we're not taking any skill position guys. Wide receiver is a big need, and I don't get why we're not picking him. And then, you take Jordan Love. as opposed to getting a defensive player to help your defense. Patrick Queen, I know that I listened to that, and I don't remember much of what was going on, like the dialogue, but I know that Brian was talking about why Jordan was there. He was the best player on the board. They wanted to pick him. Okay, Sean, so you want to go get Jordan's jersey? Cool. You do not make your quarterback your highest paid player and extend him 5 years, then draft his replacement the following year if you know what you're doing. Yeah, Aaron's contract was... No, Casey Toohill was picked. Yeah, that was one of my guys. The Philadelphia Eagles took Casey Toohill. Okay, I want to get back to this. Aaron's contract was a few years ago. Right now, he has 4 more years left on his deal, on his extension. So, I think the reason for the... Yeah, that's why I'm also not very... That's why I didn't understand picking Jordan, because you do have Aaron under contract for another 4 more years. I really don't get it, to be honest. They're going for a power zone run scheme. Exactly. That's one of the reasons why A.J. Dillon was picked. No one thinks this is going to hurt team morale. We had a great locker room last year. We still have a great locker room, I think. And I think the team morale is going to be just the same as it was last year. Okay, what 2 receivers are going to step up this year? My guess is that it will be Equinemius and Devin. Bold prediction, I'm going for Devin to step up. Matt LaFleur is a Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, he comes from that type of tree where he's learned under Kyle Shanahan. He runs a system very similar to his, but it's more like Sean McVay than Kyle. Aaron Rodgers missed throws because receivers couldn't separate. Passer rating and completion has nothing to do with playing within the system. Oh, okay, I see you're addressing something. Going for a power run scheme with Rodgers means you do not know what you're doing. Well, you're just taking going with a power run scheme has nothing to do with Aaron directly. It just means that you're just going to go with with some power backs in there, and Aaron is going to be handing the ball off. EQ and Beggleton? That's a really, really good prediction there. Really bold to say that Reggie Beggleton, a guy that's came from a semi-pro league, is going to step up. I really hope that Reggie is going to be able to have a chance to be able to make the team. Taking the ball away from Rodgers is stupid. You would like to have the ball in your hands. If you're Aaron, you definitely know, hey, I want the ball. I can pass. Believe in me, you guys. But there's got to be a time where you got to have balance in your offense, and you got to be able to run the football. So I understand why there's a right and wrong time to take the ball out of your quarterback's hands. Runs open up the pass when you don't have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. Run opens up the pass no matter what quarterback you have. It definitely is more so for the case for if you have an unproven quarterback like Dak Prescott, where he needed Ezekiel Elliott to be the guy to open things up. I didn't really mean semi-pro. The CFL is a professional league, but it's in a different country. So, and the Packers are going to be making a pick pretty soon. So I'm going to get my attention to the pick right now. Detroit has a pick in. Let's see, if I were to, I would be out, or the fans need to get Brian. Just not gonna. 4,000 yards in a new offense with no receivers and a new offense. The offense is not really new. This is the second year the Packers will be going into this offense. So I really think that there's a really large possibility that there are going to be some teams that are going to step up, or some players that are going to step up for the Packers. I certainly hope that one of them is going to be EQ, Marquez, and Devin. He has one Super Bowl appearance because the teams around him have not been that good. The team has lacked a defense. All I hear is theory. We need to align for grand plans to come together. I think there's a grand plan coming out about all of this now. And the Packers pick is in, so I'm going to turn my attention. So 236, we'll see who this is. I'm kind of hoping they either go receiver or defense. Jeff Thomas would be a good pick. Hunter Bryant is still available on the board, and then there's a corner there, Asang Bassi, the Wake Forest corner, he's still here, and then Lamar Jackson, the Nebraska corner, is still available. That kind of surprised me. Benito Jones would make some sense. He's probably more like a nose. Guys, hold things in. I don't want the pick tipped to me because I think I might be more behind. Anyway, right now I just want to address this here. AJ Dillon, second round breakout in the depth chart, going to dump Jamal Williams for who he's never been impressed with. I tend to doubt it. Jamal's contract is up in 1 year. I'd love a kick. It's let's see, the pick is Vernon Scott, a safety. Okay, then there we go. The pick is a safety, and I'm glad that we went defense, but I don't think I've ever heard of Vernon Scott, though. I'm kind of interested. Jamal's a good man, has swagger. Yes, he does. That's why I like him. No wide receiver. Yep. I don't think that we're going to be taking one. Next pick is defensive line 100%. That'd be kind of nice if we did go defensive line. It would be even better if it was Darian Daniels. For those who are on here and have just joined, if you have not hit that thumbs up, that would be great. And subscribe if you want some Packer content, and it would be much appreciated. I'm just waiting for Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst to show up on the screen here when after they made their pick. That'll be cool. But you can't expect Rodgers to carry this team by himself forever. The days of him doing that are all behind him. I have to agree with that all the way. Aaron can't carry this team all by himself. I think those days are gone. I think the last time he was able to carry a team was probably before his collarbone break. So I think in 2017 he was still able to carry the Packers. Jamal Williams more dance moves than any football. He's a straight line runner. Yeah, he is a straight liner because he doesn't have the agility and he doesn't have the greatest cutback ability either, like Jones does. And he also doesn't have the vision that Jones has either, and his elusiveness is insane. But Jamal is a more of a straight liner, north south runner that can bruise and plow and truck. And you think he's carrying this team? I really don't think so. There's been some times where he's had to carry the team, but I kind of think with the running game here, there have been some times where I think the running game has carried. I would love to keep Jamal. I don't know. I think the last couple of picks have not been so bad. Like, I really like that we got Jon Runyan and Jake Hanson. So those are some good picks. I don't know who that was addressed to. Okay, Jamal is a bruiser and AJ Dillon is a bruiser and cheaper. Y'all do the math. Yes, they are. They are both bruisers, and unfortunately, I think Jamal the bruiser will probably be gone because we did bring in AJ. What's our record in 2019 without Rodgers? He's carrying this team. To be honest, if we were to go by Tim Boyle, if he were to be the quarterback instead of Aaron, I know that we would have a losing record, but a lot of teams who have less than stellar backups would have losing records too. But I can see that. Let me get my thoughts straight here. I can see that with a running game with Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones, they could have done enough to be able to get a pretty decent record. Yeah, maybe like a 6-10 record probably would have made sense with Tim Boyle and the running game. And at times the defense has looked dominant when we were able to get a whole bunch of pass rush with the Smith brothers and whatnot. I'm going to get this up here. Yep, top news, we got a safety. I like it because we need somebody to play there in the back. Space Ghost Gamer, how's it going, man? Good stream. From Washington, D.C., Packer fan from Washington. Awesome. Thanks for joining this stream. I bet with Love they'd go 9-7. Love now or in the future? I think that if Jordan were to play the full season this year or next year, maybe 9-7 would be a pretty decent record. But I think in the future, probably better. But now, okay. Yeah, I think I probably would have to agree with that. I think Jordan Love can get this team to a 9-7 record. Would have traded Rodgers to the Redskins for Kirk Cousins. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Kirk Cousins, really? I hope that's a joke. Packers 13-3 without Rodgers. I mean, with Tim Boyle, probably so, but I don't know. At times, I think the defense has been able to carry the team at times, and then the running game also did that too. It's essentially playing ugly football, but it's winning ugly, and I'll take winning ugly, and that's what the Packers did all season was win ugly. And Dane Jackson, the corner, went off the board before we could get him. Darn it. Great comment right there. And the Packers are going to be picking pretty soon. Right now we're at 2:40 where Houston is on the clock. Looks like we're going back in time. Running back, big fullback, and tight end. This helps our receivers to get open for big plays and good run and track to keep up short on the short downs. Well, yeah, we're going back in time to a power run game in a sense, and we're probably going to be passing a little bit less than we did last season because we have the three running backs. We won ugly with Rodgers. Without him, we lose badly. Probably. Given that Tim Boyle is really a number 3 quarterback, I definitely get it. And, with a backup quarterback now here in Green Bay, I think we can win more games with a better backup, given that it's Jordan Love, raw and all. That's good to know. Okay, yeah, I mean, Vernon Scott is a long DB. He had a visit with the Packers before it got canceled. I didn't know that. Thanks for the information, Dwayne. Brett Hundley is no love. And Tommy Stevens, the quarterback, went off the board. I know we were looking at him. I think Jordan Love kind of compares a little bit to Hundley. He kind of looks a little bit like him whenever I see him on tape. He looks like he has the mobility, something of like that, and Brett Hundley is better than Love coming out of school. Brett Hundley was actually pretty good. He was seen widely as a better talent coming out of UCLA than Jordan was coming out of Utah State, and I think the stat production was better because Brett had better coaching and a better supporting cast around him. But I don't know. I think Jordan actually overall is actually a better prospect than Hundley was. Brett Hundley went into the 5th round. We don't deserve A-Rod, but he should force a trade and show. I mean, if I'm Aaron, I would be mad, but I would just trust the process and let things play out. McCarthy wasted Rodgers if you want to be fair about the quarterback position. I know that's the narrative that a lot of people want to think. Is that Aaron was wasted because Mike McCarthy is a buffoon and couldn't coach, yada, yada, yada. He won games here, so Saints drafted a quarterback. Yes, they did. They got Tommy Stevens, the Mississippi State guy, somebody that the Packers were interested in that I actually scouted and liked a little bit. Hundley over Love. LOL. I totally agree. I think Jordan has the potential to be much better than Hundley ever was. A-Rod should go to the Chargers. Nope. I do not think so because they already have Justin Herbert. McCarthy built Rodgers. Yeah, McCarthy developed Aaron and he made him into the player that he is today. So I definitely like to give a huge shout out and a hat off to my man Mike McCarthy for developing the bad man that is Aaron Rodgers today and the greatest quarterback of all time, the best to ever live. Mike McCarthy. I bow to you. I bow to you and I do it, Sensei. Agreed. McCarthy built Rodgers. We forgot we had to say he had 3 years to learn. Yep, that's another thing. Agreed. Mike McCarthy. I meant to go to the next one. Thought Saints and Steelers would have taken Love before us. I thought that actually the Indianapolis Colts were going to pick Jordan, and the Saints, I think that they like Taysom Hill as their developmental guy, which is why I knew that they were going to pass up on Love. And I don't think the Steelers were going to make a jump into the first round to take Jordan. And the Packers just made a pick, and it's an edge rusher, Jonathan Garvin out of Miami. Awesome. I like it. I looked at Jonathan Garvin. And I thought he would be picked a little bit sooner than this. So that concludes the Packers picks. This stream has gone on for pretty long here, 2 hours, and I can't believe it. I was not expecting there to be people coming on like this, and I'll be taking the stream, chopping it up, and making several videos on this. So my reactions and whatnot, these can be rewatched again. And I'm glad that somebody thought this was a good draft. Brett Favre pushed himself out. I wouldn't say that. I mean, let's see, this was awful as far as value goes. I don't hate the players. I understand that. A D draft. It certainly looks that way, given that there was so much defensive talent available on the board and they were passed on. And then also passing on a wide receiver. Every other team got better. Let's see, an F+. That's better than a flat-out F. Every other team got better. Yeah, I'd say that's probably true. Brett put the team in a terrible position, threatening to retire every single season. Yeah, he did. He was so indecisive about what he wanted to do, and it was making the organization think about the future, and that's why Aaron Rodgers was drafted in 2005, because he was threatening to retire. But I understand the situation. He was trying to make the decision. How did the Bears? How better did the Bears get? They got some corners in there. They drafted Jalen Johnson. Their biggest blunder was taking a tight end, Cole Kmet. I think they upgraded at the edge rusher position. They upgraded. I think they upgraded at receiver a little bit, not very much though. Well, yeah, give this one for Aaron. Good comment. Yeah, we passed up on a really, really super deep wide receiver draft and did nothing and did very little to improve the defense. That's what I would say. Didn't really get an inside linebacker until the 5th round, which was surprising to me. I don't understand going back 3 back-to-back offensive lineman picks in the second in round 6. Now there's no way we have all of them to make the team. Yeah. That's probably a large possibility that some of them may not even make it. And I think this could mean that Cole Madison is going to be gone. Cole Madison, the guard that we drafted a few years ago, could be on his way out, given the amount of guards that we drafted. A D for dumb, yeah. That's probably right. Vikings took a quarterback. Yeah, they probably just want to be able to backfill there and get a number 3 there. Yeah, it certainly seems like we're drafting for the future for sure for 2023, but I think 22 would make a little bit more sense. Boy, that would be entertaining, is to see a fist fight between the two. When can we get undrafted free agents? We can go and get undrafted free agents as soon as the draft is over. Right away, teams can negotiate with undrafted players and go and poach them as fast as they can. Cole Madison is soft. I wouldn't say he's soft. He just had some issues with dealing with a teammate's death, and he was uncertain if he wanted to play football, and that is why we didn't see him in his first year, and then came back, decided he wanted to play, and right now he's developing as a guard, but he might be gone given the talent we just drafted. I want to see the Packers on Hard Knocks this year, if they have it. The Hard Knocks teams have already been chosen. It's both LA teams. Green Bay will probably not be on Hard Knocks. Devontae is punching air right now. I think Devontae is probably just kicking back and just thinking, just trust the process, guys. A Washington State wide receiver as an undrafted free agent, that could happen. Can't wait to see a physical Packers team for a change. I totally agree. We're going to have a big bruising running back, and we're going to have some big offensive linemen to help get him some yards here. No one can trust this process. Anyone can trust this process. It's all about just letting things play out, wait it out, see how things go. Right now, this draft, you could say, has not been very good for us, and it's definitely a bummer that we didn't address certain needs in areas. And no DT, which was our biggest defensive hole. It was pretty big. It was an underrated hole that was not filled. But I'm hoping maybe Tyler Lancaster can get better and step up and play better. And then we do have Kenny Clark, who's going to be back. Nose tackle, he's really good. Dean Lowry, he's average. Is Kenny Clark going to see another 15K double teams? I hope not. But I think that could be the case where we're seeing a lot of double teams for Kenny, and this is why I'm really, really mad that we didn't get another 5-tech. Linebacker pickups are sad. Well, we did get Christian Kirksey in free agency, and I think he's going to be pretty decent. Poor Devontae's still going to get double teamed. Probably could, but unless somebody steps up. Sign Snacks Harrison, I'm assuming. That would be great. I would like to have Snacks come over, get him for maybe a 1-year deal at the right price. We didn't get a receiver or interior defensive lineman. What a joke. Feels that way. Malcolm Perry, the wide receiver from Navy, went off. Evan Weaver would have been good late. Evan, to me, is another Blake Martinez. He's very instinctive, can tackle. Not so sure if he would have been the correct pick. We want to go get. I felt like we wanted to go get more of a pass rusher or an inside linebacker that can go and cover and can run. More incoming undrafted receivers, probably so. I'm going to go to this one here. Lazard could fill out and catch 70 balls. I could see it too. I think Allen is going to be a very big, crucial part to the offense this season. That's not what I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to this comment. Devontae Adams not punching air. He's going to get all the targets with no number receiving. He could see him get 100-plus catches. I think Devontae will be seeing a whole bunch of catches. So I think he's fine with that, and that's going to be good. Yeah, I don't think Lazard scares anybody. He's really a number 3 receiver. I don't think there's anything to be scared of. He's really not the best separator, but he can do a few things for this offense. I like him, but I don't know if he can be a 1,000-yard and a true number 2. We'll just have to see. Yeah, we will. I agree with that. We should just get a 100-pound life person to play next to Kenny Clark. Matt, I think we're okay. I think Tyler Lancaster can step up. Did Anthony Gordon get drafted? Luton did. I think Anthony Gordon got taken in the 6th round. I don't really remember. EQ can be a number 2. I think he can. He was actually projected to be a 2nd or a 3rd round pick when he was drafted back in the 18 draft, and then dropped to the 6th round for unknown reasons. I think he has more upside than anybody. Let's see. St. Brown better than Lazard. He could be. I think he's got more upside than Allen, being an undrafted free agent, and I think St. Brown is faster. So I think he might be able to separate better, and he might be able to play in the slot. Do we have a short, fast receiver or all pass catchers carbon copies? I wouldn't say that they're carbon copies, but they're all pretty much in the same mold, more or less. Some guys are a little bit taller and built a little bit differently than others. Like MVS is taller but built bigger. St. Brown is tall and thinner, and so is Lazard. And Devontae is a little bit bigger, but he's really super quick off the snap. His acceleration is amazing. Yeah, I don't get it. One of the deepest receiver classes, we didn't even get one. Unacceptable. Agreed. Thank you. Equanimous St. Brown is 6'5" and 4.4 speed. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the information there, Deshaun. I had forgotten his exact height. I thought he was about 6'4", 6'3", but yeah, he's a tall dude. Slot receiver. My guess is the slot receiver will be a combination of Devontae, EQ, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see Kumaro playing in the slot too. Vikings got a player in Nate Stanley. I think Nate Stanley's overrated. I don't think he's that good. Iowa Hawkeye quarterbacks suck. Brian Goot, smartest guy in the room. I really think he is the smartest guy in the room. I think he's going to outsmart all of us and this will come out just fine. This will all come out swimmingly. I feel cautiously optimistic in Brian, what he can do to build this team. I think he's going to kick back with his legs up on his couch with his wife and kids and laugh hysterically at us that are overreacting to these picks that we think are terrible. And then when it comes time, Brian's going to build a Super Bowl caliber team, and we're going to make it to the Super Bowl yet again, and we're going to win it all. Goot is not that smart. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know his brain. I don't know his IQ. But I think, let's see, best undrafted receivers ever. Oh, good question. I can't really think of any right off the top of my head. Ed McCaffrey was undrafted, I think. Ed McCaffrey was super good for the Denver Broncos when he played there. And that's just the only one that I can think of right off the top of my head. Yes, Rod Smith. I think he was undrafted too. He was really, really good for Denver too. Point is, what numbers with no help if you're winning, that equals no Super Bowls. Well, yeah, I know that numbers are not everything, but winning championships is a team sport, so you just got to be able to have a team there for you to be able to go and win. Goot trades again. No one every single draft is just to look cool. I don't think that's why Brian is making trades to look cool. He's trading to go get the guys that he really, really wants. Just like everybody is doing the very same thing. Does it matter that the fans want? Does it not matter that the fans want Aaron to win the Super Bowl? Not because some kid, quarterback possibly 4 to 6 years from now. I'm watching some film on Jonathan Garvin, our last pick. Playing on the edge, he looks pretty good off the snap. He's kind of like in a down defensive end position, but will be an outside linebacker. Holy wow, did he see... That was a really, really good rip move right there. Holy wow, that was so quick. Jonathan looks really, really quick off the snap. I was thinking at some point we were going to go with an edge rusher, but I didn't think we were going to go this late. Well, I'm hoping Jonathan is going to be a good rotational edge rusher for us. Okay, just to recap the draft, number 1, Jordan Love, and then the second round, A.J. Dillon, the running back, round 3, Josiah DeGora, the fullback tight end, and then round 5, it's Kamal Martin, the inside linebacker from Minnesota, and then round 6, we went with a pair of offensive linemen, Jon Runyan, the guard out of Michigan, and then, Jake Hanson, the center out of Oregon, Simon Stepanek, the offensive tackle from the Indiana. And then the 7th round picks were Vernon Scott and Garvin. With about 24 of us in here. Getting harder to carry the G. Yeah, I kind of get that. But let's just carry the G, you know. This is what we do. we live and die together as fans of the green and gold. Carry the G, no matter what. Yes, RELAX. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just relaxing. I'm gonna trust this. I'm gonna trust the process and let all this play out. I think things are gonna be good. This team is gonna do fine. Whenever the season starts, we'll see what happens. I feel like everyone is laughing at us. Probably a lot of people are probably right now at this juncture, they don't care. But I think they were probably laughing at us when Jordan Love was picked. And just let them have their laugh. Let them mock. Let them scoff. When Jordan is ready and he's going to be our franchise quarterback, they will not be laughing. They will be crying when Jordan and the Packers dominate the league. Until then, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers leading the Packers. Right now, it's coming up to the end of the 7th round pick. We're going to be heading to Mr. Irrelevant. This is going to be interesting to see who it's going to be. So I think I've had this stream up for quite a bit of time, and not very many comments or questions are coming back in. I think I'm going to end this stream, and then I'm going to take all this, cut it up, and slice it into certain sections. So for reactions to draft picks. So I think I will end this stream, and I'll catch you guys later for some videos that I'm going to make. Peace out, guys.